This book, Knowing the Last Day, we are still in this book. We have finished Qadr and Qadr on Wednesday, but we are still in this book, Knowing the Last Day. You know, day is very important in our life. And every single one of us have their last day. It will differ from one to another. Whether you like it or not, there will be a last day for you, a last day for me, a last day for our children, our grandchildren. Everybody have to go back to God. The difference between the believer and the people who don't believe is that the believer want to have a good ending. The last must be good. Now, to have a good ending, you must know how to be good. You have to prepare. And the beauty when you die as a believer, brother and sister, Allahu Akbar. Anybody who chooses to die as a believer who believes in Allah and Prophet Muhammad SAW, they have so much to gain and nothing to lose. What is the thing to gain? Because you will receive prayer from billions of Muslims every single day. Billions of Muslims around the world will worship Allah and they will pray for your souls without spending a penny. Allah. It is a real blessing from Allah for the believers. For those who don't believe, they have no future. Sometimes they have to pay people to pray for the soul of their family. If you don't give them money, nobody want to pray for them. They have no time, they forget you, they don't know who you are. But as a believer, a Muslim, whether they know you or not, each time when they perform their daily prayer, there is a prayer for all the believers. Without you asking them, they must recite. That is the blessing to die as a believer. You don't lose anything. So never give up to your friend, your mother, your father, whoever is close to you, who are not yet Muslim. Invite them to Islam because they have nothing to lose. Especially those who are very sick, bedridden. Don't forget when you visit them, call them back to God because they don't lose anything. Then we can pray for them. Each time when we perform a prayer, we also pray for them. This gathering, other gathering, we will pray for them. Free of charge. This is how beneficial when you die as a believer. The last issue that I share with you in this book, there was an ayah. I have to go back to this ayah because it's important for all of us. Number one is the hadith verse. The Prophet said, "Kullu ummati yadkhuluna al-jannah illa man aba." All my followers who believe in Allah and Prophet Muhammad SAW will enter Jannah. This is the promise from Prophet Muhammad SAW. He said to us, all who follow him will go to Jannah, except those who refuse to go to paradise. The companion was surprised when the Prophet said that. He said, "Qila wa may ya'ba ya Rasul." They asked the Prophet immediately. When something strange been mentioned by Prophet Muhammad SAW, the companion will not keep silent. He want to know why. Can there be a group of Muslims who don't want to go to paradise? They don't know. They can't imagine that there are Muslims who do not want to go to paradise, who refuse to enter paradise. Then the Prophet continued, "Man ata'ani dakhala jannah wa man asani faqad aba." He who obeys me, he or she who follow my teaching. Now don't take the teaching of the Prophet lightly anymore. He or she that follow my teaching will enter paradise. respect from the Messenger of Allah. And he or she disobey my teaching. Don't care about what I want them to do. They think they are better than the Prophet. They are the group who refuse to enter Jannah. And may Allah save us from that group. Amen. Then Allah said in Surah At-Tawbah verses 100, وَالسَّابِقُونَ الْأَوَّلُونَ مِنَ الْمُحَاجِرِينَ وَالْأَنصَارِ وَالَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوهُمْ بِإِحْسَانٍ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ وَأَعَدَّ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي تَحْتَهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهِ أَبَدًا ذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. This is what Allah said. Surah At-Tawbah and verses 100. Surah Tawbah is Surah number 9, chapter 9. As for the first forerunner among the Muhajirun and the Ansar, the first who embraced Islam, the first group of people who embraced and entered to Islam. Who are the first? Allah make it very clear, the Muhajir, the people of Makkah. Because that is the birth of Islam. Prophet Muhammad was born there, revelation was revealed there, and the mission of the Prophet began there. And the second group of the believers are those who live in Medina, where the Prophet migrate to and decide to die in that city. And that's why whoever go to Mecca and Medina, they will visit the graveyard of Prophet Muhammad. And then Allah continue, and those who follow them, those who try to follow the best generation, the best people, is the first generation. The people who follow the teaching of Prophet Muhammad. And this group of people, brothers and sisters, Allah Akbar, is not like you and me today. If I will quote the saying of the Prophet, that the Prophet said this, sometimes you will think first, and then you will think whether you want to follow or not. After thinking, you will also think again whether you want to follow or not. It's like you're given a choice. And sometimes you want to know more, you ask me, Sheikh Hussain, is that compulsory or is just an obligation? Or is just an optional thing? You want to know, is sunnah or wajib or rukun? You want to know everything with the intention not to do. You know, our intention is so corrupted. You question not because you want to follow. You question so that there is an excuse for you. This is not obligatory. Okay, alhamdulillah, syukur. So your question is not sincere. Now I share with you two examples about the first generation. They are not like you and me. Ask, and you are not sincere in your question. They are real good followers, very faithful and loyal to the teaching of Prophet Muhammad. Without the Prophet commanding them to do anything, they will also follow. And those who follow. One day when they are traveling with the Prophet, time of prayer comes in. The Prophet performed his prayer and everybody performed behind him. In Medina, of course. And the Prophet normally, when he performed prayer in the open area, sometimes he wear boots, and sometimes he wear khuf. Khuf is a kind of socks or stocking. It can be made of cotton, made of polyester, or made of skin of the animal. So the Prophet was performing prayer with it. So the companion also prayed like the Prophet. They also wear their boots, they wear their clothes. In the middle of the prayer, prayer, in the middle of the prayer, the Prophet ﷺ took out of his hook and threw it away. While he was praying, he took up and threw. While praying, he never stopped praying. So the companion in the first row saw, you can see again, it's the movement. They also start to throw theirs. So when the first row threw, the second row followed. Everybody threw. So after the prayer, the Prophet looked at so many booths over there now. So the Prophet said, what happened to all of them? He said, we saw you throw, we throw. He said, I threw that. Yeah. Because the angel Gabriel came informing there is some filthy thing below my clothes. Do you have that? Then they realize. But you see how they follow? They don't have to ask. When the Prophet does it, they will do. Another incident, one day the Prophet was wearing a gold ring. So when the companions saw the Prophet have gold ring, everybody buy a gold ring. And wear a gold ring. Very good followers, mashallah. And then the Prophet saw the man is wearing gold ring, he threw the gold ring. He took it up and threw it. And he said, from today, gold ornaments, ring, necklaces is forbidden to my male followers. But it is allowed for the female. It's an ornament for the woman. Woman can do a lot of decorating. Not man. Man become man. They feel full man, not half man. Macho, tough, rough one. So the Prophet threw the gold. The companion also threw. Of course, they pick it up later on. They have to pick it up and gold, not me. That means they are not going to wear it. You see how they respond? How faithful they are. They just want to follow Prophet Muhammad. That's how we should react. When I say to you, this is of the Prophet, don't eat, don't drink with the left hand. No more eating and drinking with left hand. You must remember that. Because the Prophet said, don't eat, don't drink with the left hand. No more eating and drinking with the left hand. When the Prophet said, don't worship Allah without a sutra, put an object in front of you. So everyone who wants to pray, put a sutra in front of you. Don't take the command of the Prophet lightly. And those who follow them, Allah in this ayah said very clearly, so that we don't misinterpret the word of Allah. Allah said to us, Allah Himself is pleased with that people, that group. Who? The Muhajirin and the Ansar. The first group of people who entered Islam. Abu Bakr, Khadijah, Ali, Omar. All these are the people of Makkah. No Muslim have the right to downgrade this group of people. Don't ever imagine and think you and me are better than them. No way. To the extent that the Prophet said, if you put the iman, the faith of all the believers in his time, and put on one scale, and you put the iman of Abu Bakr, one companion, the first who entered Islam, on the other scale, the scale of Abu Bakr is heavier than all the iman of the people. You cannot compare. Why? These people, their love towards Allah is so great that when Allah said, I want to trade with you all, whoever is prepared to sacrifice their wealth for the sake of Allah, Abu Bakr had no second thoughts. Immediately he go home, he collect everything that he had, gold, silver, every penny he had, hidden under the pillow, under the cupboard. All he came to the Prophet and he put it in front of the Prophet, and the Prophet asked him, Ya Abu Bakr, what have you left behind for your family, for your children, for your wife? He said, Allah and the Prophet. the sake of Allah. Who can do that? No one can do that. Because his faith to Allah is so, this is belong to Allah. Allah want me to contribute. I have to contribute. I have to return it back to Allah. And Allah will give me again. He have that strong belief. وَمَا أَنْفَقْتُمْ شَيْءٍ فَهُوَ يُخْلِقُهُ. Allah said, whoever spend in my way, I will replace back to them. They don't have doubt. We have a lot of doubts. We are doubtful people. Allah said He is pleased with them because of their loyalty, their faith, their obedience to Allah's command. And then Allah said, because they please me, whatever Allah want them to do, they do. They please Allah. It's like we as parents, if our children will just do what we want them to do, are you very happy parent? Yes. Are you a blessed parent? Yes. MashaAllah, it makes you sleep so well. No worry because your children just please you, just listen to what you want them to do. No worry anymore. You say to your son, sit here son, he sit. You say to your son, eat now, he eat. Oh, mashallah. What problem do you have? Maybe too good also a problem. No, it's a blessing, mashallah. How do you feel as a husband? We have a wife. Whatever you call her to do, I obey, my darling. No worry. You want me to iron? Inshallah. Today, you come home, after your office, you come home, everything is been ironed. And make sure that everything is ironed. What food do you want? I bring everything is on the table for you. How do you feel? Do you feel that you like to go home? Of course. You love home. You just, when you're in the office, you're just thinking, dreaming of home. Now, home food, home curry, everything homemade. Because your wife is preparing for you. But each time then you come home, your wife call pizza. How do you feel? You're thinking that he's going to prepare home food, he's going to order pizza for you. And you don't like this fast food because fast food kill you faster. And in return, because we are so faithful to Allah, we love Him, we try all our best to please Him, He makes us happy in return. Anything that you do for Allah, you will never regret because Allah said, He, Allah, will prepare for them garden beneath which river flows. He will give us paradise. Nothing is better than paradise. And the paradise that Allah will give us, Allah, is like a palace that you have. You don't even dream to be in the palace here, but Allah will give you a palace. And inside the palace, your home, you'll be there forever. And Allah said, I will prepare for you rivers, not swimming pools, rivers. Fresh water, keep on flowing. And not only one river, 3 rivers. The river of honey. That honey is not like our honey here, Manuka honey, Tualang, no. Only Allah knows what kind of taste is it. And it's not just for you to drink, for you to soak yourself. Can you imagine you can soak in honey? How soft your skin is going to be? MashaAllah. And then He will prepare a river of milk, pure milk. From where? Only Allah knows. Whether it's a cow's milk, goat milk, we don't know. But He said, Laban, milk. And then also He prepared a river of wine. Allah, for those who love wine. Don't drink it here. Don't drink. You drink, you have problem. You burn yourself and then you create problem for yourself here and also here. You just have patience. Sabar. Over there, he gives you a river of wine. Not bottle of wine. River. Wow. But that one will never intoxicate you. Will never make you crazy. The wine here will make you crazy. Allah said to us, He in return, because you make Allah happy, you please Allah, Allah is going to prepare for them paradise, where you find rivers flows in the garden. MashaAllah. How nice to feel. Even here, if you have a house with a swimming pool, indoor swimming pool, how you feel? A whirlpool again. Maybe what? Another, what they call? Huh? What kind of bath is that? Jacuzzi! Oh wow. MashaAllah. I don't know whether you like to go out or not. No more, one day jacuzzi and then the swimming pool. You have hot, you have cold, oh MashaAllah. In Jannah, you just name it, Allah prepare. Just feel, I want this, Allah make it happen. Because you make Him so happy and now is a payback time. He just give you and give you. And never ever Allah's bounty is decreased because He gives you. He has more to give. Just be patient, be grateful to Him, listen and obey. And Allah ends with ذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. That is the great attainment. That means this is a great reward. You will never regret, brother and sister, become a truthful Muslim. Now we are coming to the new subject. They, the people of paradise, possess good manners. Who are the people of paradise now? Allah is telling us. Then we can check within ourselves. Do you think I can be the people of paradise? You can check by yourself. It's right now, sometimes people give you a machine, a blood pressure machine. Can you check your blood pressure by yourself? If you have an Omron machine, blood pressure machine, can you do that?
Yes.
You can do that. You can check your blood pressure by yourself. Believers who are adorned with good manners, who possess good manners, will be in the highest level of Jannah. Abu Umama radiallahu anhu reported that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah's messenger, said, the meaning of the saying of the Prophet, I guarantee a house on the outskirts of Jannah. Who is I here? Allah. Allah guarantee and promise us that He will build a house on the outskirts of Jannah. It's in Jannah, but Jannah is huge. In Colombo and also in Talinjaya, you have outskirts of Talinjaya, but is in Talinjaya. I guarantee a house on the outskirts of Jannah for him or her who avoid arguing, who stay away from arguing unnecessarily. There's a lot of things that I've said to my students, to the youth, whether they understand my word or not, only Allah knows. And sometimes maybe they may argue in front of me, is good, so that I can explain to them. But if they argue among themselves behind me, it's not healthy for them. If they don't know, they are not sure, they have to humble themselves and calm and ask me. Let me explain. It's easier for me to explain. Overconfidence kill you sometimes. So Allah said, I guarantee a house on the outskirts of Jannah, paradise, for whoever avoid arguing, even if he is right. It's like our parent is calling us to do something. Even you know that you want to do something better, but they don't need that from you. They just want you to do what they want you to do. Don't argue. Don't argue. If you say, go and clean all the dishes and clean it properly. Yeah? Clean, when I say clean, I mean clean. Not just wash, but not clean. So just do it properly. If I say, when you take this thing from this place, after that make sure you put it back in that place. Is that easy? Is that easy, sisters? Wherever the children took the thing that you kept, you say, please, after using, put it back. Is that easier for us? Very difficult. They know where to take your thing, they do not know how to put it back. Have you experienced that, sisters? I got the other sisters now, because they are keeper. We are users, they are not keeper, they are keeper. When you take the thing out, you don't know where to put it. Because the one who always keep is the sister. They make sure it's dry. After they dry, they double sure, make sure that it's dry. They make sure they take a dry cloth and wipe it again, then they keep so that it won't create mold in the cupboard. If not, it's wet half, then you have problem. They want to make sure that when it is out, when it is clean, when you go in, it's clean. And that's why you see a lot of signs that we put in here, wash this area. Keep it clean, keep it properly. Why? Because it's just a reminder. Even what we are doing now, we still have problem years to years. Still we have problem. And some children say, very fussy. Very fussy. Don't argue. Whatever people want to do is for your own good. When you have that discipline, that quality, wherever you go, Allahu Akbar, people will love you. Anything you touch, people will be very happy because you take it when it was clean, you will keep it back cleaner. That's how it goes. You use the toilet, when you go in, it's dry and clean. When you come out, you make sure it's clean. When you go in, it's dry, you come out, it's wet. And the second person have problem when to go in. Because it's wet. Why can't you make it dry again? Find ways to do it. We do that. We do that. Every time I personally will do that. If I take a bath in the washroom, after finishing, before my wife wants to enter, I make sure it's dry. I have a mop. I try. So that it's not slippery. Inshallah. Inshallah. No accident. You know a lot of accidents took place in the washroom because it's slippery, you have shampoo, you have soap, and then you don't dry it properly, and then now your wife come in, bismillah, boom, he fall. And he got hit, what's going to happen? If he can stand up, alhamdulillah. If he can't stand up, who is the cause? I didn't kill her, no. Or you want to kill your wife very easy, no problem. Just make the floor, it's always slippery. Put some oil there. I didn't do anything. Slippery, she just want an accident. Allah knows your intention. Allah knows your intention. But inshallah, all our husbands and they love you. So if you have experienced wet washroom again, inform me later. So that I can remind the man. Let me have a man talk. Because it's important, the same go to the wife. You must make sure you use it and then you come up. Mop it dry so that when your husband walking, he walking with safety. Safety comes first. We do this while to experience because we sleep many times. We ourselves, even we are very careful in walking, also we can sleep. How are people who are not careful? For the thin guy, it's easy because they are flexible. For the fat one, you pity them. One they fall, only Allah knows. It's a big one, man. It's a big fall. Please show mercy to them. And a house in the center, best part of Jannah. And another house Allah will build for you in the center of paradise for those who stay away from lying. Don't lie. Don't lie to your parents. If you're going out to see somebody, just let them know, so that let them organize that people, that somebody come to the house and have a meeting so that you are safe. So what happens, you go for a movie, don't lie, oh, I went for a tuition. Tell them, no, this movie is very good, father. Talk about the history. Maybe your father want to go and see it too. Anything good you share. So don't ever lie to anybody. Don't lie to your wife, don't lie to your husband, don't lie to your parents, don't lie to your friend, don't lie to your customer. Don't ever lie to your customer. Because the Prophet said, Man ghassa alaysa, whoever lies is not one of us. Because the Prophet never taught his people to lie. So don't lie. Be truthful to him. Even if he is just joking. Lying is not a joke. Once you get used to it, become a habit. When it become a habit, you know what's going to happen. Lying becomes normal. It's like you cannot live without lying. And this is one thing that I hate most. Anybody who come to me, I want them to be honest to me. And please don't lie to me. I have a lot of reward who come to me. And I ask them very simple question. Alhamdulillah, how long you become Muslim? 1 year. How long you become Muslim? 3 years. How long you become Muslim? 3 months. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. 3 days. Alhamdulillah. For those who have been Muslim for a year, I will ask them, have you been praying? Yes, I've been praying. How many times you pray per day? Oh, 5 times a day. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. I say, please don't lie. You have to tell me the truth. That's all I know. No problem. I just ask you. I want you to be honest with me. Do you pray 5 times a day? Yes, 5 times a day. I always go to this mosque with my friend. Shukr. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Because my humble experience, I have to reconfirm it because of my knowledge. I have to make sure that they don't lie to me. Then I'll say, can you recite Fatiha? I want to listen. Please recite Fatiha for me. I will start to motivate. Al-Fatiha, start. Revelation always Fatiha. Fatiha. Al-Fatiha. No gear, man. First gear, second gear, still parking. And some can move. Alhamdulillah. I said, start Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Ar-Rahmanirrahim. Stop there. I said, continue. Ar-Rahmanirrahim. I said, can you continue? You know, when people ask me on the spot, I always forget. I told you, don't lie to me. If you have been praying 5 times a day, you cannot miss Al-Fatiha. This is something that everybody must recite. When you fail to recite Fatiha, that shows that you don't pray. That's how I come to the conclusion. If you say, I just 3 days, I excuse you. You say 3 weeks, I still excuse you. But if you 3 months, 3 years, you don't know how to recite Fatiha at the end, I know that you're not praying. I'm not going to scold you now. I'm saying, please learn. We have classes, come and learn. I'm not going to judge you yet. I still will motivate you and encourage and guide. But don't lie. Because the reward of not lying, you get a house in paradise. While you lie, the house is gone. And lastly, Allah said, and I will guarantee them a house in the highest place of Jannah for him who has good manners. Good manners play a very important thing in the scale of Allah in the Day of Judgment. The Prophet ﷺ did mention in one of his beautiful saying that there is nothing that carry more weight than good manners in the scale of Allah. Just have good character is good. Don't lie, don't argue unnecessarily. Even it's a joke, don't do things that is not good for you and not good for others. Be honest, be sincere, be truthful. That's all you have to do. They do not have envy and they rely on. People of good manners, they may have some jealousy on and off, but it's not an ongoing jealousy. Envy, of course we envy, we see somebody better than us, we are jealous of them. We see somebody is more beautiful than us, we feel jealous of them. We feel somebody is more knowledgeable than us, we are not happy sometimes. We see somebody drive, sport car coming here and we only proton sangha. We are not happy. Don't get feeling. Feeling is there. Normally it will come to you, to me, to anybody. But control that feeling. Among the believers who will enter paradise are people whose hearts are pure and gentle. Heart is very pure, clean. They don't keep all the enviness, jealousy, and then all the negative feeling. Very pure, very sincere, and gentle. People who are having good heart, they cannot be very mean and very rough. They're very gentle people. So you have many men, but you have little gentlemen. So when you want to get a man in your life, make sure you look for gentlemen. Not just, I am a man. But you are not gentle. Wow, the way you talk, the way you behave. You want to control, you are very dominant. We don't need it. We want gentle, you know how to talk to me. That's why you win the heart of the woman, by talking to them gently. And I believe all of men here are gentlemen. All the boy, gentle boy. Like birds' heart. Birds have heart too. Devoid of envy, bird, normally Allah create them. They don't have enviness. I don't know, I shared with you over here before. No? There's a story, a man who's very close to Allah, who had been working very hard, he worshipped Allah, and then he was very active, very productive. Then one day, he saw a crow, a small bird, blackbird, that have lost 2 wings. That no wing anymore, got injured, cannot fly. He was looking at this small bird. Suddenly he saw an eagle flying over and then come and feed this bird. The eagle was taking some food from somewhere and come and pass to this small bird. When you look at these two things, what is happening? He starts to feel. You see how Allah's miracle work. If Allah said, I will provide for this bird, His provision, that is how Allah works. He will command the eagle to bring food to this small black bird. You know, eagle is another family of the bird, but now Allah command because Allah, if He want to give you rizqi, He want to provide you something, He just do be and is be. That's what He had to do. Wow. So when He saw what happened in front of Him, He made his own conclusion. He said, from today, I believe in Allah's provision. So I decide to be like the blackbird. He would just stay in the mosque and pray and hope Allah will send food for him. The money will come to him. You don't have to work anymore. You look at the soul. So whatever he's earning, getting lesser and lesser and lesser. Until one day he have to beg. He have to ask. So he went to another scholar, not just a good worshipper, a learned scholar. He said, what went wrong? I have the faith like that blackbird. His faith to Allah is so strong, he cannot fly. But his faith to Allah that Allah command the eagle to send food to him. So the scholar said to him, why do you choose to be a blackbird? Why don't you be like the eagle? Why don't you choose to be an eagle? That you are free and you can help others. You understand the story, the spirit of the story? Sometimes there are two things happen in front of us. Why you go for the negative one? Why don't you choose the positive one? Why don't you become more productive? You should have choose the eagle. Number one, you remember, you have leg, you have hand. That bird have no wing, like no hand anymore. But he have leg, can move him, but he cannot fly anymore. If he can fly, he will never depend on the eagle. He knows where to find his risk. So this is what we have to learn. Be gentle and work hard. Like bird's heart, he has no jealousy and truly fearing Allah and rely on Allah. Abu Hurairah reported that Prophet Muhammad once said, يَدْخُلُ الْجَنَّةَ أَقْوَامٌ أَفْئِدَتُهُمْ مِثْلُ أَفْئِدَةِ الطَّيْرِ. There will be groups of people who will enter paradise with their hearts like bird's heart, in purity and reliance on Allah. This is what the Prophet was reminded by us. And the Prophet informed us that those who have this pure heart and gentle heart, this is part of the heart of the good people. People who are good always have pure heart and they are gentle. Even people are wrong to you, you are still gentle to them. So, everything that is good, there will be a great reward waiting for all of us. Just try to be as good as possible. With the guidance of Allah. Not too good to do everything you want and go against Allah. Today there are a lot of Muslims who have good heart, but they do a lot of bid'ah innovation. They do a lot of things that was not recommended by Allah and the Prophet ﷺ. With the reasoning, I have good intention. Good intention, brothers and sisters, must be guided. It's not a free flow that you can do anything as long my heart is good. You must be guided by the guidance of Allah, the Quran, and the Sunnah of the Prophet. I give you an example. If you have a good heart and you want to pray the Fajr, the morning prayer, 5 rakat prayer, can you do that?
No.
Why?
It's not according to it.
Did the Prophet forbid you? Did the Prophet ever say, don't pray Fajr more than 2 rakat? Did the Prophet say that, brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
Did the Prophet say that?
No.
No. No way. Because normally if you ask the person, why do you do this? He'll say, yeah, I know Prophet don't do it, but what's wrong is good. Shaitan gives you that idea to destroy your deeds. Even you have good feeling, you cannot just do anything you like. I have good feeling, I want to pray extra rakat for morning prayer. The normal people do, they are lazy people, I pray 5. Extra Fatiha, extra rakat, everything extra. Is that good? But did the Prophet say, don't pray more than 2? No, but you don't do because the Prophet never do more than 2. That's all. That's how we am. Anything to do with ibadah, ritual Islam, you just have to follow. Follow, don't innovate. Don't create something new by yourself. Good feeling. Reciting Quran, is that good? Is reciting Quran good? Very, very good. But the Prophet said, don't recite the Quran when you are in the state of bowing, rukuk in the prayer, and don't recite the Quran when you are in the state of prostration, sujood. If you do that, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? You disobey. Even Quran is so good. But the Prophet said, I was forbidden by Allah, He Himself. Allah said, no recitation of the Quran while bowing and prostrating. And the Prophet just obeyed. It's a command to see whether the Prophet follow or not, and he follows. Remember the history of Adam when Allah said, eat whatever you have in paradise. All the fruit that I prepare, except this tree. Don't ever get close and eat the fruit of that tree. It's just a fruit. Is anywhere in this world today you got haram fruit? If you are selling fruit, you are operating a fruit store. Do you need to apply a halal logo?
No.
You want to apply, you can apply. It's a waste of money, waste of time, and people say, I don't think you should have a shop. I don't think you have a good, something is not right here. Number one, we know there is no haram fruit. You only have smelly fruits, like durian, king of the fruits. That one you have. And you have fruit that really stained, like mango stain. If leave it somewhere, it really stained there. So, but there is no haram fruits. Every fruit is halal. So anybody who are doing fruit business, don't go and apply for the halal logo. If you have extra money, pass it to us. Don't give it them because you don't need the halal logo. If you are opening a vegetarian restaurant, do you need an halal logo there? Why must you? You know there's no haram vegetable. But sometimes we are so ignorant. You want to eat in the vegetarian restaurant and you're asking, I don't see halal logo. Then don't go. Don't eat. That means you don't know what you're talking about. You confuse yourself, you confuse the people. Tell me which vegetable is halal. There's no haram vegetable. This is an example. You must have the right knowledge. You must do what Allah wants you to do. Even your heart is pure, it must be guided by the guidance of Allah. May Allah give us a good ending and make us have the best manners, the best character. Amen. Before I end, brothers and sisters, before I forget, next week we know is what day? Next Sunday, close to Chinese New Year or before the Chinese New Year? After Chinese New Year. I won't be around, and my assistant Sheikh, Sheikh also won't be around. So we give all of you a break. Government also give you a holiday. We also give you a break. Only on this coming Sunday. The next one will be back inshallah. But if I'm not here with you, the class is still on, don't worry. But remember me in your prayer. You remember all of you in your prayer too. And one thing I like to remind all of good brothers and sisters, every year, I've reminded you before, just another reminder. We as members of the organization, as students of the organization, we encourage them to participate in one activities, one call. That means to take up the LOU. LOU is an exercise that we do since 4 years ago. It's a letter of undertaking that we registered with Khaadem to say that inshallah every year we try to contribute at least 1,000 ringgit for the beginning of the year. We would like to thank all the good support of the brothers and sisters who have been very kind to us, who have been supporting us from years to year. We hope Allah will reward all of you for your good deeds and your heart. And we hope that you can continue to be with us in our activities by taking up this LOU. Even we, our family, also participate. We do that. It's our contribution for Allah. To see that all our activities for the home, for the orphanage, Tahfiz Quran, our dawah activities, will keep on going stronger and stronger. And all is for our own good. Because we want Allah to give us a lot of reward. And when you stand for the cause of Allah, you will be rewarded for the sake of Allah. There is a minimum, if you want to give maximum, you are always welcome. Just a reminder so that we do remember what we can do. Because it's not good that somebody got the opportunity, the rest was not informed. So that's why we inform everybody in the class. So if there's any question to answer, now we open for the Q&A. Top down. One the first. Any the speaker. The light and the mic. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I have a question just now. You mentioned that we are not supposed to recite the Quran, any part of the Quran during ruku and sajda. Okay, some of the local books here on how to pray sunat prayers, for example, sunat istiqara, they said that during the last prostration you have to recite something like Subhanakallah, I can't remember what is the correct thing, but recently I found out that it's actually a verse of the Quran, and they said that you're supposed to recite that 40 times in the last minute. So I guess that's wrong. So how do you actually perform that prayer?
Yeah. Salat istiqara, you're talking Salat istiqara. Salat istiqara highly recommended by Prophet. If you are not sure what to choose, what to recite, then the Prophet recommends us to pray Salat istiqara. Ask Allah to guide you. And Salat istiqara, there is a dua especially for Salat istiqara. And that dua is not from the Quran. So if somebody will say that you can recite this how many times, then number one, you just don't want to argue because it's not good to argue with people. Just ask them for any evidence from the Prophet. Is there any hadith say that the Prophet called you to recite this? If there is, you do. If none, you don't have to. Now, what is happening around us, people just want to encourage you to do good things, but they don't limit themselves. Keep on, okay, do this, do that. But we want to know, how did the Prophet taught us to do this prayer? We don't want to argue. Call them to show evidence. If there's authentic evidence, alhamdulillah. If none, we stop them. Don't have to argue with them. You got it?
How do we pray?
How do we pray? Istikhara is simple. Just pray, normal prayer to rakat with the intention istikhara. But there will be a special prayer that the Prophet taught us to recite.
After the prayer?
No, you can do it inside the prostration when you're making sujood. But it is not from the Quran. That dua is not from the Quran.
I think the one they use is
no, there is a Quran. There is a Quran. You don't recite that.
Alright, thank you.
Sisters, please stand the mic to the sister in the brief. Pass over, please. Alhamdulillah. Help the sister. We have to cooperate with each other, inshallah. Fadal, Sister Zaliza, yeah? Press up. You must feel the sound there. Up.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ustaz, I would like to ask about wudu. Wudu according to the way of the Prophet, we have to do for the head once, right? And then to the ears, right? Once. And I just wonder, for women, we generally have longer hair than men. I wonder how we continue the back to the front. Perhaps they want to all of us, especially to the women. Considering we have longer hair, so I don't know, perhaps it's me, but I find it like difficult how do we go back.
Okay.
And another thing, just would like to share. I think I would like to express congratulations maybe to all of us in Khaadem, because I think this is the only place where people arrange their shoes properly without even asking. Men and women, adults and children.
Allah's blessing, inshallah. Yeah, it's Allah's blessing. When we try to do something and people are following up, the good thing, it means a lot to us. When people are responding to something good, it means a lot. Yeah? So we hope that we do not just do it when you are here. You do it wherever you go. You know? You may not be able to organize other people's shoes, but as long as you organize your own shoes first, it do means a lot. But if you can help also when you go to other place and try to organize, that's also a good thing. So that you set a good example, a standard in other areas. That you will get a lot of reward from you. Now, coming back to the first question about, now the beauty of our religion, brothers and sisters, is that the Prophet was sent to demonstrate, not just to say, do this, and he don't demonstrate to us. And the wudu, taking a position, male and female, is the same. Now what Allah commands us, وَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ, is to wipe over your head. That's all. It so happens the hair is on the head. So that's why you have to wipe over the hair too. So if someone say, I have no hair anymore, so I wipe, yeah, your head. It's not the hair, it's the head. Nothing to do with the hair. There's nothing to do 3 hairs, 7 hairs, no. Wipe over your head. وَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ, to the back of the neck. Just take it over. It's not a problem whether you wet the scalp or not. Just an action, a motion, front to back, and then back to front. You don't have to take until the neck side. You don't have to do that. Just wipe over. It's a shower. A shower. Yeah? Wipe over. 1, 2, up. Once you reach the back, up again. You don't have to take, if you have long hair, you go under the neck. Yeah. You don't have to do that. Just one. Yeah. And then the ear is everybody is okay. You can just once the ear. You got that, sis, inshallah? Pardon? Oh, the hand, yeah, the Prophet encouraged you if possible. You have to lift up the tune on the fingers and then one if possible. As long as you want. And the Prophet wanted to use both hands. Just both hands.
Not one, it's 3 times.
No, one time. The head is always one. Other part it can be 1, twice, 3 times. The head and the ear always come once, according to the Sunnah of the Prophet. Any question from the sisters? Or not, pass it to the sister again, behind. Then there will be a question, written question that I have to answer, inshallah. Fadal. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I can't hear you clearly, so please make it clear so that I understand the question.
My question is also to do with wudu.
About wudu, okay?
Some people told me that because we have earrings as girls, you have to wash inside as well. Is that true?
If you have what?
Earrings, like earring.
Earring, okay?
And you have to wash the inside, then the whole.
The whole of the earring. The whole of the earring.
The whole of the earring. What the Prophet showed us, this is some ornament that the Prophet do allow the woman to wear. Earring, necklace and everything. Not for the man, but some half man is very half. One ear, and this is half man. So you just clean. The important is the inner part, and then just like that, it didn't even touch this area. You see, this is how it goes. You don't have to worry about the other part. Just do what the Prophet wanted to do. No problem with the area.
Another question, but it's not to do with this topic. Because we came from some other country, we take taxi sometimes, and they put on music, and it's to do with forbidding wrong and enjoying good. So, some people advise me, if you tell to the taxi driver straight away, oh, this is haram, can you take it off? Because some of them don't understand this haram, so it might hurt their feelings. But it's important for me to forbid the wrong by taxi driver, it's wrong, it's haram, I don't want to listen to it. Or just listen and in my heart saying that it's bad, so Allah will forgive me.
Some of the guy and the brothers, do you hear the question from the sisters?
Talking about the taxi, we go to the taxi drivers with music.
Oh.
Can I tell them to shut it off?
Now the brother is, I have to reconfirm so that I know what you're saying. Now he is telling me that you were saying that you go into a taxi. So the taxi driver put music on. Yeah? Do you think you have the right to tell the taxi, can you off the music because we don't like to listen to music? No, because we don't like, because the Prophet don't like all this kind of thing. Is that the question, sister? Is that a question? Yeah, you have all the right to tell the driver. You pay the driver. This is your peace of mind. You don't have to go into the car and you get so heavy, you come out like cream. You don't want to do that. If it's like the driver is smoking, you can say, please stop smoking. If not, I'm going to go out. Because that is your right. You pay for it, you pay for the service, you have the right there. No. I do that. If I take a ride on a taxi, I will inform the taxi man, can you off the music? He has to follow. Normally, a good driver will follow. Yeah? So we have to do that because something that we dislike, and this is with our control. If not, you can take, I'm sorry, you can't do it. Can you just stop aside? I will leave. I'll look for another taxi. Normally they must go. You got that, sis? You understand that, sis? Yeah, so you can do that. But if you feel that you're worried that you may hurt his feeling, but he's not worried in hurting your feeling. So you better tell him first so that he learn. Next time he will learn how to respect the passengers. No, though he will have to learn something. So it's important. I love to remind them. I don't blame them because they thought everybody is like that, love music. You know, maybe sometimes people say, there's no music in the taxi. Then there's a problem again. So people who come into my car normally, there's no music. You want music? Let us talk. Better than music. You keep on talking, you make me awake. Alhamdulillah. The music can make me get sleepy. So this is an example. You can do that, inshallah. Any question from the sister again? Third question from the sisters? Yes, there's one here in front. Please pass the mic. Alhamdulillah, thanks for the cooperation from the sister.
Assalamualaikum Ustaz.
Walaikum salam.
What is the best advice that you can give to a person who is sadly depressed after 6 months she had lost her husband and now is undergoing chemotherapy and may have to undergo radiation in future? What is the best advice that you can give this person? Thank you.
Firstly, may Allah bless the soul of the husband who passed away. Forgive him, his husband. Death is a trial for everybody. The more you love somebody, the more you miss the person after they pass away. That's why number one, we try to remind a lot of people when they're still alive, among all the family, to love Allah more than anything else. So if something happened to anybody that we love because we love Allah more, so that will not demoralize us. We will know how to survive better, inshallah. Because we must depend on Allah, because sooner or later we all have to go back to Him. What the sister really needs is a good support from their friend, their close friend, family members who know her problem, is always there to give her some moral support. Give her some motivation, a reminder. We need them. That's why in Islam, we need to have a good friend around us. So that when we are down, somebody is there to help us to come up again. To pull us up. Because when you are alone, you become weaker and weaker. So you need good friend around, family members who have the right understanding about Islam, who know how to help that sister. If there is any chance that the sister is here, you can bring her to see us. If not, then maybe if we have time, we can go and visit her, just to give her some kind of motivation, encouragement, guidance, that she can be better, inshallah. Sometimes, when a person is down, it's not because she is sick or depression, also very dangerous. And loneliness is not good in Islam sometimes unless you are strong. When you are a strong person, you can be alone by yourself to reflect, to make a lot of muhasabah. But when you are weak, you cannot be by yourself anymore. You are going to become weaker and weaker very fast. So, inshallah, we hope Allah will help her and help those who help her, inshallah. That's my advice to Sister Nani. Sister Nani is the one who asked that. Let me answer a few questions here. Is it permissible to delay marriage because of study? We parents today want our children to have career. It's good, there's nothing wrong. But if the time is right for them to get married, a good guy, he just come to the picture, don't delay anymore. They can still study. If they agree upon that, they can still keep on studying, complete their study. Then why not we make them get married so that their relationship is halal, especially among the students. Islamically, it is allowed. Both parties, the parents, have the understanding that while they are studying, we will support them. Why not we support our children or our in-laws for a good cause? Why must we become so calculative? You know that if you don't do that, they are going outing by themselves. So Islam never encouraged that. They create fitna. We don't want our children to be demoralized and do something haram. So when you know they physically, mentally they are ready, only financially they are not ready. Financially they have the money. Why not you do something good and help? There's nothing wrong in Islam. Anything good. If the guy is not a good guy, then delete. After the 7-layer, I will talk to others. Earlier I mentioned that the Prophet prohibited us from reciting the Quran during ruku and prostration in prayer. But what if we recite a dua from the Quran during sujood? A dua from the Quran, don't recite any Quran. Some scholars may give you opinion. If your intention is to make dua, it is okay. When the Prophet said, no recite the Quran, just stay away. Don't find excuses, but I mean as a dua, it's not an ayah like Rabbana Atina Fid Dunya, like Rabbana Zalamna Anfusana wa Illam Taghfir. It's an ayah of the Quran. So when Allah said no, you just stay away. Don't try to excuse yourself. But my intention, there's so many dua other than the Quran, why don't you recite? Just an example. Yeah? I know people can give you some, their opinion. I don't entertain opinion, I'm sorry. Yeah? My way of teaching, I don't entertain opinion. When the command is clear, I ignore all opinion. Whether people like me or not, is something else. As long as I know what I say, based on the evidence, I will just say it. You said we should tell someone we love them if we do. And I would like to say I love you so much for the sake of Allah. And may Allah love those who say for the sake of Allah. May Allah love all of you, inshallah. Yet the minute you say this, Allah's love increase on me. So I have to make the same thing back to you so that Allah's love will increase to on you. Yeah? That is the good of expressing your love, inshallah. What is Nur Muhammad? And there is the poetry always in television. Hasbi Rabbi Jalala. Yeah. Ma bi qalbi ghayr Allah. Nur Muhammad sallallahu. What does this mean? This is not the way the Prophet taught us to recite anything on the Prophet. Any salawat. Never once the Prophet used the word Nur Muhammad. He is a very humble man. He is a prophet. He is a human. He is telling us, Ana Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Abdul Muttalib Rasulullah. I am Muhammad, the son of Abdullah, the grandson of Abdul Muttalib, the messenger of Allah. Stop there. Never once the Prophet allowed anybody in his time, or he claimed, Ana Nur Muhammad. So I don't know where they got this beautiful name, terms, but it's very dangerous. The Prophet warned his ummah not to overpraise him, like how the people of the book overpraise Jesus, and now Jesus is no more human, he will become God. And this is happening to the ummah again. We love our Prophet so much, we praise him so high to the extent there are people who pray, oh Allah, send all my good deeds to Prophet Muhammad. What is it? Oh Allah, accept my good deeds that follow the sunnah of the Prophet. That is the way to pray. And sometimes we are so overconfident, we say, let us recite Al-Fatiha and present it to the Prophet. Who are we to present to the Prophet? We are so poor. The Prophet is so rich. He gives us shafa'ah. We can't give the Prophet shafa'ah. We have good intention, but we do not know what we are doing today. We create the innovation and create more innovation that cause a lot of confusion today. May Allah protect us, brothers and sisters. So we don't practice this. After the 7th layer of heaven, it will be the kursi and arash of Allah. Is it any evidence to show kursi of and arash of Allah? Possible round shape, so that when we point up to the sky, kursi and arash Allah always on the top of us. If the kursi and arash is in flat shape, then we point up to the sky will not always on the top, depend on the earth movement. This is very difficult. How it look, the Sheikh house, we believe Allah, we believe in what Allah said about Himself. He said, I have a kursi. Wasi'a kursi samawati wal ard. That's why we known ayatul kursi. But do the kursi of Allah like the kursi I'm sitting? No way. We have no right to go further than the word. If Allah said kursi, we just say kursi. People say, how can you say kursi? Your kursi? I didn't say my kursi. I never say your kursi. I say Allah's kursi. How does the kursi of Allah look like? Only Allah knows best. Arsh, Allah said arsh. Thumma stawa ala arsh. He said that He is above His arsh, upon His arsh. Now how can we say that? No, you cannot say that Allah is somewhere. Allah is nowhere. What is this? I didn't say Allah is nowhere. I said what Allah said about Himself. Allah said, وَالَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ فِي سِتَّةِ أَيَّامٍ ثُمَّ اسْتَوَى عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. Do we remember the history of Isra and Mi'raj? Do you remember this? The story of Isra and Mi'raj, the night journey? Did the Prophet go around the world or go downward or go upward? Go what? Upward. That's called Mi'raj. Mi'raj is like a ladder going upward. I have said this before, I'm going to say it once again. How confused we are. Where even the non-believers of them who don't believe in Allah but believe in other things, they are not confused. You ask Chinese or Indian and anybody who believe there is God. Ask them simple question, where is God? There's only two answers from them. Just two answers. First one, God is everywhere for us. Another one, God is up there. Nobody sit down here. Nobody say it's with me. Nobody say it's in my house. Nobody say it. Straightforward, everywhere or up there. End the discussion. But when you ask the Muslims, some Muslims get so confused. They say, if you say Allah is in front or behind, right or left, up or down, kufr. You make kufr because you say Allah have a place. You say Allah have no place. We have no problem. If this is what Allah said in the Quran, if Allah said Allah have no place, we say Allah have no place. That's all we have to say. He said He's no place, we say no place. But if Allah said, I am above my throne, Arsh, is that a problem for you to believe that He is above the Arsh? Can that be a problem? You don't ask how the Arsh of Allah look like. No one knows. Nobody asks. No prophet asks. There's no answer for that. But you have people today want to know. Want to know something that no one knows. Except Allah. You can know when the time is right. When you see Him. When you have good ending, you see him. Then you know how is Arash moving. So just be a good person now. Listen carefully what Allah said. And just believe what He said. That's all you have to do. Brothers and sisters, please be truthful to ourselves. Don't play with word. Don't manipulate word. Word can turn us astray. If Allah says, I am above my throne, Allah is always on the top. If there is another meaning, Allah can be down, I don't know. Right? People say, 1 plus 1 is always 2. If you have a calculation mathematics, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is what? I don't understand. You must ask the Aboriginal orang asli, 1 campur 1 jadi 1. Wow. You must look in the diary now. 1 campur 1 campur 1. And you say, I don't think you are right. Common sense will tell you, you have no sense. You are not right. You are crazy. Only crazy people say 1 plus 1 plus 1 equal to 1. Can you calculate that? 1 plus 1 is what? 2. 2 plus 1 is what? 3. But to say 3, people don't understand. So you make it easier. 1 plus 1. And then plus 1. When you teach the children 1 plus 1 and plus 1. Oh, 1 plus 1, 2. 2 plus 1, 3. Easy. So the Arash of Allah belong to Allah. How it look like, the shape Allah knows best. But don't ever dispute. Don't ever have doubt that Allah is above the Arsh. When you have doubt, Allah said, La raiba fihi. This book of mine, every single word, no doubts inside. You have doubts, you have problems. And we have doubts. Some Muslims confused. May Allah guide all of us. Amen. Last question to the brothers. Now, Khaadem. Khaadem. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Push up, help everyone.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Last week lecture, I will make understand that if anybody committed a shirk, then they are not supposed to be given a funeral prayer. And let's say I know somebody who committed shirk, and let's say he passed away, and I have no right to ask the rest of the people to pray. Not to pray. That's clear. What if it's out of respect, even though I know that he committed shirk, I pray together with the group? I committed a sin.
Firstly, brothers and sisters, Alhamdulillah, when we want to start to ask any question, sometimes we start with giving salam. There is something very good here that we are praying for each other. But please, in the future, when you offer any salam to anybody, the maximum, the best salam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That is the maximum. The least, Salam alaikum. Brother have give the full salam, but one thing that I like to remind us is that don't add He Ta'ala. He Ta'ala was not from our Prophet. The Prophet never taught any one of his companions to add Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Even Ta'ala Aliyun is one of the attributes of Allah, but it's not been put in the form of salam. The best salam is complete without He Ta'ala. Don't use that word. I know a lot of people here start to use it, and nobody remind them that it's not right, so they keep on doing it. So I have to remind you because like what the people used to say about Pharaoh, you know Pharaoh? Pharaoh, the king of Egypt before, the tyrant king. So one day people asked Pharaoh, how can you become Pharaoh? He also did not know. He said, I became a Pharaoh because of the people. When I say anything, they listen. When I do anything, nobody says that I'm wrong. When I do everything I want to do, everything I command the people to do, they just follow. So I thought that I'm Pharaoh. They don't comment, so I think I'm God. Because what I say, they follow. What I say, they follow. Nobody comment. Nobody tell me, hey, you are wrong. So I thought that I'm always right, so I can become God. Because God never go wrong. You got the story. So when something is wrong, you cannot just keep quiet, you must remind them. Now, the question is very important. If you have a friend who are Muslims, who claim to be a Muslim, in the same time they commit shirk. Now, the first thing you must know, do they commit shirk with knowledge? Do they know what they do is shirk or they do not know? They're ignorant. Because some so-called stars say, this is no shirk, this is ikhtiyar. They write some word somewhere, amulet and pass it to you, call you tie here, tie everywhere. And write something more, hang here, hang there, hang in the car, hang in the house. If they are ignorant, may Allah forgive them. You should pray for them. But after you have talked to them, show them the evidence that the Prophet said, don't use talisman, don't use amulet, no tangkai mangkai, it's haram, shirk. They don't care. They say, no, this is not shirk. This is what Prophet said, I say, I didn't say. Are you telling me the Prophet is wrong? But that Imam said, okay. The Imam said, okay, but Prophet said, no, you should follow me. Prophet Muhammad. But they are ignorant. After you warn them, few times they still stubborn, they don't care. They say, you don't talk to me anymore. Then if he dies, you have the duty not to participate. But you cannot call other people not to. Because Allah has warned us, those who know, they cannot. It's just like if you have a close friend who openly declared to you, brother, you know I don't believe in all this anymore. But he's still a Muslim name, parent a Muslim. In the IC, in the car, all eyes Muslim name. But he had made it very clear to you, he declared, I don't pray anymore. I don't believe this is all just man-made thing. He died. You cannot pray for him. Because you have the knowledge about what he declared for himself. But the family will pray for him. The people in the mosque will pray for him because there is the Muslim name. The rest will leave it to Allah. But we cannot betray Allah when you know. When you have the knowledge, you cannot pretend not to know. You got it? It's very easy. You know you cannot participate. When you do not know, then you can do. As long as you know that he died as a Muslim, until it's proven not, then you cannot. You understand it, brother? Inshallah. So may Allah bless us, may Allah guide us, brothers and sisters. So once again, for those who do not sign up the LOU, you're welcome. It's not a force, it's not an obligation, it's just a motivation so that we participate in whatever we do. And for those who have been helping us, may Allah reward you kindly, and may Allah also protect all of us from great fitna. And lastly, remember, next week is what? Holiday. So you can plan your weekend. You can go anywhere, you can go. But when you travel, don't forget the teaching, the value. You have to share the knowledge that you have with people. May Allah bless us, may Allah guide us, and may Allah accept all our prayer. And once again, we would like to thank all the brothers and sisters, for being patient with us, and may Allah help us to exercise the knowledge that we have learned. Subhanallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.